A lot of people have asked, do we think Obi is more capable, Atiku, or why? How about bringing back Jonathan, like the North is planning to now? You know, but the reality is this, like I have said before, and I will continue to say, because we all know the truth, but we have failed to tell ourselves the truth. The truth is this: with the current constitution we are running, and with the current mindset that we have in that nation, it is very clear and almost impossible to build the nation. Why? Now, we know very well that Obi is the most capable among all the candidates, including Jonathan, Atiku, Agbado, and who again? Kwankwaso. We know that Obi is more capable. You know, like I listened to Dele Farotimi of Lagos, and he made it very clear if the chance call again that he's going to support Obi. Likewise, many people. But this is the simple thing we all have to know. One, if he's supposed to be, perhaps Obi might be there again for the next 8 years or perhaps 4 years, right? But let's assume that he stayed there for 8 years and he was able to fix the economy, make the country to be in good shape. Now, is he going to be the president for how long? 8 years, right? Minimum 8 years, if the North agrees, right? Because we the South, we have 4 years left now. Perhaps nobody's going to impeach Agbado. Agbado will be there for the next 4 years. You know, he will finish his tenure. And the South will have 4 years left. That's why you've seen the North playing the game to bring back Jonathan so that Jonathan will do the rest, you know. Now, assuming now that we bring Obi to the game, and finally we secure the vote for him, and he becomes the president. What do we think he can do? Or let's also assume again that he happens to be the most talented and perhaps he fixed the economy for us. And his tenure lasted for 8 years. After 8 years, what happens? What will happen again? Let's take Anambra as a case study. Obi was a governor of the state, and Obi fixed the economy of Anambra and a lot of challenges that Anambra state was facing then. Obi was able to fix almost 90% of the challenges that faced Anambra at the moment. And after Obi single-handedly choose Obiano. That everybody knows. And what did Obiano did? Obiano destroyed the economy, take Anambra backward, just like Buhari and Tinubu did and is doing to Nigeria today. So my point is, yes, Obi can do miracle. Obi can do what everybody will appreciate and see that Nigeria, during the tenure of Obi, Nigeria will be held in overseas and respected in abroad. That's true. But my fear is what will happen after him. And we all know the right solution. Why not apply the right thing? Let's challenge our energy to long-lasting solution. Now, what is the long-lasting solution? The most long-lasting solution we all know is to go back to regional government. I don't know why we are afraid of what we have tested before, and everybody testified that it was one of the best. Even though that during the time, the politicians was also corrupt because that is what led to the military coup that happened. But we know in politics, it is impossible to kill corruption 100%. But there is a means to, should I say, reduce it to at least 50%. And believe you me, any country around the world that can fight corruption at least 40% or 30%, that country will be very prosperous. It will be almost impossible to dictate that corruption is going on in that system. Tell me the country you know in the world that you cannot find any kind of, misbehaving among the elite. It's not possible. But what we are saying is at least these guys should fight corruption at least 20% in Nigeria. Because currently corruption is 100% in practice in Nigeria. And that's not fair. And it is mostly among the political leaders, the political elite, like the president, the governors, the assemblies, the senators. the House of Reps, the local government chairmen, and the councillors in the village. In fact, down to the king of the village. Our call remains change the constitution. And we are not saying go and import a new constitution. We are only saying bring back 1960-63 constitution that will give a region autonomy to control herself and pay tax to the federal as a company, just like the states. Just like you see in America, every state controls their economy and their security and pay tax to the federal. Just like you see in the UK, London is a state controlling her economy and her security. Scotland, the same thing. Northern Ireland, the same thing. What is wrong with us? I think we learn democracy from all these superpowers, but we've failed to adopt the original system that they practice that helped them to grow economically and militarily. Some of us, we know how our parents brought us up and we know what they told us about Nigeria. We know the dream they had for Nigeria, how they wanted Nigeria to be prosperous, how they wanted Nigeria to be superpower, which will have the capacity and the capability and the men that can make decisions to build that country to be as strong as we dream. But all these dreams have died because it couldn't be accomplished. So stop wasting your energies calling for Mr. A or Mr. B to rule. Nobody cares who is the president, but we care about our lives, our properties, and our tomorrow, and the future of the born and the unborn. You see, this is what we want. Assurance that somebody can go out to the street and come back freely. I was walking with one of us on the street, and the question that keep coming is, where should I put my phone? Where should I do this? Am I sure that nobody? I said, calm down. Where you are is a secured place. Nobody is going to touch your belongings here. Camera is everywhere, watching everybody. Security is no longer asking a police officer to stand on the road or road safety officer to stand on the road. No. Let us go digital. Let us go civilized. Import cameras. Bring down one company down that can help us. In fact, Innocent can help us and do all these things. Let all the houses, the cars running on the road, let everybody have an address. It doesn't matter how local. Nigeria, how many people is your population? Can you tell me your population? That is impossible. You can't. When we are talking to Nigeria, automatically we are talking to the entire Africa because we know, in fact, not just the entire Africa, but the worldwide. In Haiti, I met a friend yesterday who is from Mexican, and he was telling me story of Haiti. He told me that Haiti was the first to got her independence in Latin America and almost in the entire Caribbean. And he told me people that have ruled, how they have messed up the country, how the crisis started in Haiti. And I said to him, brother, I know all these things, but can you just make a guess about what you think that the country Haiti need to do to bring back peace? The simple truth is only the politicians can come to an agreement to let it happen. Without it, it's impossible. So I call on you, my fellow people, my fellow population. In fact, I don't want to use the word fellow Nigerians, but I want to use the word fellow black community around the world because anywhere you see our community, you will probably see that where we control the government will be collapsing, getting old day by day. And that is sad and a pity. Let's join hands together. My fellow population, perhaps the poor like me. Remember, the country belongs to us. And when we say yes, we can get it done. But when we say no and fill our hearts with fear, the politicians will be more prosperous and be in good shape to take what belongs to us the more. Let us unite